today I'm just going to talk to you guys about how I've been navigating this market. So first off, looking at the S&P 500, I want to focus on a couple of things. First, I want to talk about this theory I use, which is the Wickenoff theory, the wave up versus the wave down. If we look at the wave up here, right, on the S&P 500, it goes through this previous supply zone and it gets above it. Very nice, but if you look at the volume is below average. So this tells me that participation is not strong, right? So looking at the line chart, if we look at the candlesticks, and you can see the candlesticks are not very aggressive either, right? So the ranges are very tight. And then you see a period of consolidation, and then we come back to test this level, right? So if the wave up versus the wave down, if the wave down is small, this is a healthy uptrend right now, right? So it touches the previous demand zone now, which was supply, and it pushes back up. This is positive momentum right here, right? So you want the stock to come back and test its previous levels to push up higher, right? So it does that again, and it stays in this like little uptrend, right? So we have a downtrend break here, right? However, what's important to know is while it was trying to push towards new highs, when the stocks sold off, or when the S&P 500 had a pullback right here, the participation in the selling increased versus the participation in the buying, okay? Which was very interesting, okay? So you see here the participation in this push up was decent, but then when the sell-off came, it increased again. So then we have this participation happening in this wave up, right? It goes below average, right? So that means shorts covering, not really sure, maybe institutions pulling out, retail's buying. So it could be due to multiple factors, right? So when I look at the waves, I like to focus on this. What is the volume telling me? As a retail trader, you don't have a lot of information in front of you. So what you're using this information as a setup, right? We want to, somebody will say, oh, I missed this whole move up, right? Well, if you were patient enough, you could have caught this whole move down, right? So it's just your perspective. Like, there's two ways to trade the market, up or down. Whichever way you want to trade it, you just have to have a perspective and you have to manage your risk. So when I was looking at this, the wave down here was really strong participation on the sell side. And then this push up right here, I was looking for this level or this zone between 450 and 456, but I'm bearish below 448. So right now it met my target. Again, tested this level, not really able to go above and push. I did expect a consolidation once it made a move higher. A consolidation was needed, but it gapped down. And then it gapped up drastically and it pulled back. These are indications of a very volatile market. This is not very steady. So we got Biden and Putin speaking this weekend. We have, possible different scenarios coming up in the following week with the Fed. I don't trade that. I trade levels. So I'll zoom into the hourly here. Right. So when I was looking at this, I was looking at this zone right here on Friday, that if it got below this level right here, I was going to trade some puts to the downside, right? Because this is a previous zone which was held on the intraday. And if this zone is held, if this zone is broken, I'll trade some puts. This was a nice move from 444 all the way down to about 439, which I was able to catch with trading SPX futures. Sorry, SPX, the index options. And if I look at the Qs, it's the same thing, right? We got our wave up versus our wave down. If we look at the participation here, right, on the wave up versus the wave down, it was increasing gradually. Wave down, gradual increase. It's not, and it's consolidating, right? Remember, there's stages and trends, right? So right now we're consolidating here. We have a breakdown. Now we have a consolidation. It tried to push above. The fact that it couldn't get to this level right here, 373, 375, is very concerning to me for the Qs. And that it could consolidate here for a couple of days and then maybe break to the upside. I'm not going to speculate which way it's going to go, but I'm going to wait for my levels to be violated before I take a position, right? There's no point in speculating in this market, so you got to be careful. So if I go to the 1 hour time frame right here, same thing. This is the level I'm watching, 353. It breaks it nicely, comes back. It's almost testing its previous demand zone right here. If it goes below this, the 333 level, that's where the big trade is sitting right now. If we have a look at the VIX, right, so VIX almost touched, well, VIX went to 31, right? This is a huge move on the VIX right here on the intraday. But if we look at the daily, this is how the VIX just does, right? So It's been to 35 over the past couple of days and all that. So we'll see. VIX has been getting very, very interesting here. It's gone to like 37. So this is something I want to pay attention to. Even if the market starts consolidating, if volatility is rising, obviously the risk has gone up, right? There's something that's coming in the market that we're not aware of. So, these are levels of interest right here around 41. If we get to these levels, S&P could be down drastically, right? So we'll see what happens with the market. The other thing I'm paying attention to is gold. Gold on the monthly is very bullish. It's usually a good hedge. This is a cup and handle pattern right here. So we got, if you're not a savvy technical guy, have a look into this, right? So if it does break out gold, this trend, we could see a big break. So I'm thinking something along the lines of, from this break to a target of way up there, around 1300. So we'll see where gold goes. If it gets above to that level, but gold looks bullish right now. My entry points like up here around the 179 mark to, then take profits, some at 193, then, let a little bit ride as well. So that's me looking at gold. I don't trade gold on the intraday. I'm waiting for this setup to be completed. Most of the time you have to be careful and you have to wait for your setups to come to you. So if we look at Tesla, let's look at some other stocks here. Tesla on the daily, I was looking at a certain levels here, right? Tesla, this is a simplified chart of Tesla that I have. If we just look at this chart here, 1125, if it breaks that, it's going to go higher. Below 980, I've been bearish, right? So my level here right now is this level right here, 794. Tesla just has wicked wide ranges, right? So you don't want to get faked out in between noise. But if I was looking at the hourly, I've been watching Tesla for the last few days, and I was noticing that this was a support zone for Tesla, and this was a resistance zone, or you could say supply zone right up here. So it's just trading in this range. So when Tesla broke this right here, about 879, 880, this is where I took the short position, and I just followed it through, right? Because the volume was rising, right? If we look at just a 5 minute here, you'll see what I mean. So when 880 breaks here, look at the volume pick up here and it completely start to go down, right? So same thing with Tesla, right? So as I've been talking about the wave theory or the wave concept here, if we just switch it over to the line chart, this was a wave up, strong public participation on this move, and then pull back. This wave up here, consolidating period. This was needed for Tesla, but then it broke this. And then it pushed back up, went to this level. This was a strong move as well. However, if you look at this move, and if I just highlight this move for you guys will see what I'm talking about here. Look at this move right here. It pushes from 1050 to about 1200, right? And look at the volume here, right? The volume is barely existent. Yeah, if you're a scalper or whatever, you're intraday traders, great, you made money. But look at the pull down then, like the pullback. Increasing volume relative to this, right? Then it pushes up and flat volume, right? Then it comes down, increasing volume, and then it makes this move. Now it's consolidating, it's breaking down again. So if it gets below 831 here, we could have an interesting moment here for Tesla if it gets below 830, right? So we can see a test of 795, 794. We'll see how the market does, but this is how I look at and I take my trades, right? Last one I looked at was Amazon, same concept, had good earnings. The earnings came up, nice move up, but this was my level, 3180. It's below that. As long as it's below 3180, I don't care what happens. Tesla, it closed above it for a couple. To Amazon, it closed above it, obviously, right? Had a nice move above. This is a strong downtrend line. This was there. It actually defeated the previous downtrend line. Right now, it went up. I wanted to see a retest of 3180, which it did do right here with this candle. However, it couldn't hold it. So right now it's making, it could still make this is the previous low right here, the 2760. It could make a lower low and start to bounce, right? So if this does happen, we'll start to see a bounce to at least 3390 and push higher, or we're going to see a complete breakdown. But right now the wave down is looking not so strong relative to this wave up here. So we'll start to see what happens. I'm going to pay attention to the volume and see if critical levels break. If they do, we'll see a move to the downside. If you guys like my analysis, please like and subscribe.